Hey everybody, Mr. Regan here. Today we're going to be talking about our warm-up question along with how we're going to be using the key concept that we just created to begin exploring what's going on with the ocelot population and their changing fur that we saw from our starting histograms. So, in the very beginning, we looked at that population of ostrolopes, and we saw that they started with a distribution where most of the ostrolopes we see here had low amounts of fur, or the vast majority of them. There were 7 different fur traits in this variation, in this population, so the variation was high. We saw that after 50 generation, the distribution was different. So we see that the size of our uh, data or our bars here was different than what we started with. We also saw that most of our ostrolopes had that medium amount of fur, and there was less variation since there were only 4 fur traits available. So we know that the number of individuals with each trait can change in a population. But when we look at these two histograms, we're left asking the question, well, why? Why did the distribution change? Why did our data go from this to this? Why did we have individuals with mostly low fur levels change to mostly medium fur levels? And today we're going to be exploring not only this question, but looking at this idea of, well, the number of individuals can change in a population based on their traits. So to do that, we're going to be diving into our sim. And when we do that, we're going to be looking to get evidence about why that ocelot population changed over time. So why we saw that change from start to finish. To do that, we're going to look at some features that we're going to need to be experts on. So first and foremost, whenever we explore different populations in our sim, there are these things called sim modes. These are activities with pre-made populations. So for our sim, we're going to be looking at fur and temperature A mode, which will have that population of ocelopes pre-made, ready to go, so we can then explore why they changed over time. To get to them, we'll click on the menu icon in the top left corner next to our Build, Run, Analyze page, and then we can select that mode. From there, we're going to be diving into our sim, and we're going to be in our build page. You'll see the pre-made ocelot population here in the actual little imaginary island. And you'll notice that on the right-hand side, you're going to have a temperature toggle where you're going to need to make the temperature either hot or cold. So 10 or 1 to explore why some of our ocelot traits might have changed. Once you've changed that, you're then going to go and click on the run button in the top corner and you'll need to speed up our population. It's going to take a while. It's going to take many generations for us to really get good data that's going to help us understand why their population traits changed. So you're going to need to click on the +4. So there's going to be a +1 in the top corner. You're going to click on the +4 option, and you're going to speed it up by 4. So they're going to be moving really, really fast, and you're going to stop them when you get to generation 50. From there, we're going to use the data in the Analyze page or the histogram in the Analyze page to look at the 2 sets of data. In other words, there's going to be 2 sets of data, one on top of the other, overlaying one another. There's going to be striped data, which will be the starting population of traits that we saw. And then there's going to be the blue traits, which is going to be on top of it. That's the ending population. These 2 histograms are going to help us collect data as to why our population changed over time. So we're going to be exploring how our population changed from our warm-up histograms. We're going to use our sim to really dive into the evidence that explains why that change occurred. So take a moment. You're going to be filling out the sim mode survey, looking at understanding how to access the sim mode and our changing up ocelot population from warm-up, and how we're going to be using the analyze page to collect evidence from those histograms. So take a second, fill out the survey, reach out if you have questions. Otherwise, good.